This video is about connecting to FileZilla. I will cover what FileZilla is and how it's used. This tool can be used to log into a server, view folders, create and modify folders, and upload files. Once we do this exercise, we can view our work and share links with each other. You can watch this video as often as you need to. Be sure to pause and review as needed, since this is a self-directed tutorial. You are watching this video as a supplement to the web page development course you are enrolled in at Cincinnati State. You are ready to learn about file transfer utilities, since this is a requirement to build websites. What is FileZilla? Well, this is a free open source file transfer protocol software tool that allows users to set up FTP servers or connect to other FTP servers in order to exchange files. You enrolled into this course to learn how to create web pages. To be successful, you need to learn this file transfer protocol tool. We are solving the problem of file transmission for website development. You say, why do I need to know about file transfer protocol software? FileZilla is a tool commonly used for file transfers, and this is the tool of choice for web development. This tool can be used to complete your website development assignments. Refer to the links to download and install the software. Take a moment and pause this tutorial, or you can stop and come back at a later time. Now, once you install the software, we can move on to the next step. At this point, you want to type FileZilla in the Windows search. From here, you can click on the FileZilla icon. Notice I typed in FileZilla in my Windows search, and I have the app at the top of the screen. As soon as I do this, I get a notification that a new version is available. I can just skip over this, and you will see this screen. From here, we want to select File, New Site Manager, and go on and create a new site. You can call it C-State with the year if you want to do that. And at this point, we want to type in the following. For the server at Cincinnati State, you will be told the link, which in this case is itd1.cincinnatistate.edu. Your login type is normal. Keep the default value for encryption. Use explicit FTP over TLS if available. Username. This is the name you use to log into Blackboard at Cincinnati State. Now be careful here. I want you to put Cincinnati State / in front of your login name. In my case, it is Tommy.Gartland, and then you use the same password you use for logging into Blackboard. So this is what it looks like at this point. We have the host, normal, your login, and your password. Now remember, if you change your password in Blackboard, you need to come back here in the Site Manager and change it for your connectivity to the server. Now, do not connect just yet. In order to save you some time in the future, I want you to click on the Advanced tab. Now, when you go to the Advanced tab, you want to set up your default directory. And this is the directory that you use on your personal computer. In my case, I want to drill down into my documents, and I have everything stored in special folders with my course number. And you may want to do the same type of thing. So I have a folder called HTML 400-Gartland 1000. So I want to select that folder as my default local directory. And then for your remote directory, I want you to use this format. And you have to get it correct or else it will give you problems. In other words, you will not connect to the server properly. You will not go to the correct directory. So you want to use /IT-110-400 /HTML 400 last name and the last 4 digits of your student ID. In my case, I am going to use Gartland 1000. That is my default remote directory for this server. So now I'm going to flip back to the General tab. This is where you must type in all this information accurately. One of the pitfalls that students make in this area and the host, they make typos and they have to go back and fix it. Same thing here. People get confused on their ID. Be sure to use the same login that you use for your Blackboard access. So now let's go back to the Advanced tab and let's look at my setup. Everything looks good to me, and I am going to select Connect. Now, there you go, success. Once you see this message, you know you are into the server, and now you can do what you need to do. In other words, you want to take the files that you already created. Now, my assumption is this, folks. You already created HTML files to move over to the server. Now, I do want to point one thing out. When we developed or created these folders for you, by default, we place an index page out there for you. It is called index.htm. You are going to replace that eventually. But for now, it's okay. You can leave it there because you are going to move the folders that you created in your local directory or the one on your PC. You're going to take those files and just move them over like this. Drag and drop. Okay, so I have a contents folder. I have a lot going on there, right? I have an images folder. I have a media folder. I have a scripts folder. And last but not least, I have a styles folder. Now, I created those on my local machine because that was part of a previous assignment. And if you do this properly, it is just as simple as dragging and dropping. Now, one thing I want to point out, do you see this index.htm page? That is the default that we created for you. I'm going to show you, let's go on and pull up a browser. In this case, I'm going to use Firefox. Let me pull that over for you. And let me show you how to look at your page. It's pretty simple once you get it, but you have to get it right or else it will not work. So in order to access this, let me pull up Notepad so you guys can see this. Okay. So you need to use this link, except I want you to change the end of this to your last name and the last 4 digits of your student ID. So if I take this link, http://it1.cincinnati-state.edu/IT-110-400/HTML400- last name number. If I take this entire link and I copy it and I paste it here, this is my index page. Okay, so that's the default page that we created for you. Now watch what happens. I am going to I'm going to right click this and delete it. Gone. No more. All gone. So now let's go back and do a refresh. Notice we can hit the refresh button here and we get access denied. That's because I do not have an index page identified in this directory. So now, remember, you already made an index page. So we are going to take the index page that we created and we are going to drag and drop it into the root directory of HTML 400, last name, number, and watch what happens. I am going to simply refresh. Here's my particular page, and notice this is my home page. And if you look here, just for kicks, I am going to delete this again, delete that index, come back here, refresh my page, and here we go, access denied. So if you get that message, you know you are missing an index page. So let's go back one last time and simply drag and drop that page over, and now you are ready to continue building your web pages. I do want to circle back to my PowerPoint presentation and look at some review questions. Number 1, FileZilla is a utility tool for FTP. FTP means what in this case? Take a moment and write down the answer to number 1. Don't worry, I'll tell you the answer in a moment. Number 2, in FileZilla, the files on the server reside in the what? Directory? Any directory at all? Take a moment and write down the answer to number 2. Number 3, you must be logged into the server using your Blackboard credentials before you can transfer files using FileZilla. Is that true or false? Take a moment and write down the answer to number 3. Number 4, the remote directory folders do not need to have the same names as the folders in your local directory. Based on my presentation, is that true or false? Take a moment and write down the answer to number 4. Now, let's look at the answers. So the answer to number 1 is B. That is File Transfer Protocol. FTP means File Transfer Protocol. Number 2, in FileZilla, the files on the server reside in the remote directory. Remember, the local directory, that's the files on your personal computer. Number 3, you must be logged into the server using your Blackboard credentials before you can transfer files using FileZilla. That is true, or else you will not be able to log into the system. Number 4, very important, the remote directory folders must have the same names as the folders in your local directory. And in this case, the answer to number 4 is false because I said they do not need to have the same names. But the truth is they must have the same names in order for your web pages to work properly. Because if you program them on your local machine to look at certain directories and then you move them over to the remote directory, they need to match. And this is very important because I'm going to give you examples later on in this course that follow that same standard. So remember, the folders are styles, scripts, media, images, and contents. To summarize this tutorial, you now know what FileZilla is and how to use it. You have the knowledge to log into a web server, view folders on the web server, create and modify these folders, upload files, and view the files using the link you can share with others. If you need additional information, I am attaching a PowerPoint presentation with the exact same steps I covered in this video tutorial. This concludes my FileZilla tutorial. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.